What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Niffelheim. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we continue our adventures in Vikingery. I don't really know what I want to accomplish here today. We've got enough food to last a little while. We bought a bunch of rock salt from the vendors, so we should be super awesome on food for the next little bit. We've got some wood, we've got some coal, we've got some iron, we've got some little things, but we need to track down some rabbits pretty soon. Like, without rabbit furs, we can't really make the next armor set, which is kind of the disappointing part here. If I click on this guy right here, you will see that, like, everything that I can craft either requires a rabbit hide, which I don't have, or, yeah, it all requires rabbit hide, so unfortunately we may have to skip that entire tier. I don't know. This requires some wool as well, and we don't have that, so what the hell? We'll probably move on to something else. Luckily, we got kind of lucky with regards to some of our drops in one of the dungeons, and so I think that's going to help us out in the long term. But for right now, welcome on back to the playthrough. We need to find ourselves an objective to work towards. Our health is looking okay. Our skill points here. We have actually, I think we could buy a sigil finally. We can buy one of the 15-point sigils if we really, really want to. And I don't know if we have to go from any of these at a time. It looks like Sigil of the Wealth Spirit. Purchase items minus 8%. We've got Sigil of the Beast Soul. Tool damage. Sigil of the Destroyer Spirit's probably what I'll go with. Since, are these not implemented yet? Maybe I've got to go to a shrine or something and pray to get that. I'm not really so sure how we implement those skill points right there, but it says we have 17 skills, so I assume at some point we'll be able to use those. We don't really... Copper, cones, twigs. Well, let's go see what we need to get done here. With regards to arrows, I think the last thing we did in the previous episode is we stocked up on arrows, so now we have like iron arrows, which means that we should be able to fight a little bit more efficiently against some of the bigger bad guys and soften them up a tad before we get after them. The arrows also do additional damage, so that'll probably be helpful. I can't really tell you. We're kind of past my experience here. I know how to get started in this game. It's the stuff as you go along that tends to throw a little bit of hitch in my giddy-up, and I don't like anything in my giddy-up. My giddy-up is there to motivate me. When things get lodged inside of it, I become very, very grumpy, angsty, violent, perhaps even. Didn't kill that one, but we did get a little piece of bird flesh right there, so let's pick that on up on the way by. I will also take the feathers because I think down the line it's going to become vital that we have that stuff. Mostly what I'm trying to hunt for right now, we want to kill off some sheep, and then on top of killing off some of the sheep, oh, there's a sheep right there, and he's already wounded. Yeah, we have slain der sheep. So what does he give me? Just the one wool? Or is it multiple wools? Ooh, it's only one wool. Okay, that might be a little bit of trouble, but we've got lamb, and that's pretty sweet. We're on the lamb now. Well, the lamb is in us or on us or something. Is that a honey pumpkin right there? I would love for them to add tooltips to the game, by the way, that tell you, like, what you're about to loot a lot of the time. I'm just going to shoot the hell out of this boar and try to stay the hell away from him. Run! Can you outrun a pig? No, little javelina, leave me alone. This would be easier, actually, if I hadn't sold off all my speed potions, but it looks like we do have a speed advantage. I definitely don't want to fight him in melee, though. I fought one of these in melee one time just to find out what would happen. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I got a tusk up my ass, and it was terrible. I had to go to the proctologist and get it extracted. They said there might be long-term damage. I was like, long-term damage? I'm talking about the short-term right now. This thing hurts, man. You got to get this out of here. You better get the tongs out, get some rubber gloves on, and unembed this thing from my booty hole. All right, now we fight. Now we do war. I don't think war is working for us right now. Oh, shit. He is tuning us up. He's tuning us up badly. Look at our health bar right now. He went through us like a thin piece of paper, and we are not a small man. That thing, he knew what he wanted from us, and he took it. He knew what he wanted, and he took it. Let's eat some food. That was the gamble that I was waiting on, though. There's some... Is that fangs or tusks, or what did I just pick up? We got a boar hide, which is pretty sweet. And now we can finally see... Well, unless wolves spawn. I was going to say, now we can finally see what's on the left-hand side of the map without too many problems. Or we'll just get spawned on by wolves and have to continue to fight our ever-growing battle of attrition to try and destroy them all. Perfect. There goes another wolf. We needed more... Oh, my God, and another one. All right, apparently we're just going to have a ton of wolves today. I don't know. It's the day out in Wolfington. You know, if we really wanted to see to this problem, we should actually exterminate all the deer. That's the best way to get the job done. The wolf population is exploding right now because they re-released wolves because they were, in the United States, wolves were endangered. They were like pretty much extinct because settlers had wiped them out in the 1800s, and ranchers and things like that had pretty much put out bounties on them, and people had earned their livings just killing wolves all day, every day. And so anyways, that ended up happening. It killed off a lot of the wolf population. Turns out now, after reintroducing wolves, the problem we run into... Was that a dandelion? I'm going to be a dandelion eater for right now. That's elf racist. Got some seeds from the tree, I guess. What are those? Dry seeds. I will probably eat as many of these as I can manage. That sounds pretty delicious. We also got some peas, but they're not goober peas, which are the best type of pea. Oh, we got some white turnips and some red turnips, though. Hold on, I got to get this sheep. The sheep might run from me, though, after I swack him a couple times. Sheep, come back. Sheep! I don't want to hurt you. I just want to kill you. I just want to love you, baby sheep. Oh, balls. That's a bear. Oh, no. That's all kinds of bad. I don't know about you guys, but I don't mess with bears. I live in a place, the bear is our symbol here in California, and there used to be grizzlies all over the place till, once again, settlers came through and wiped them all out. But the grizzlies are on the rise again. There's not that many, actually, in California. I don't think I've seen grizzlies ever. It's mostly just black bears you run into. Black bears are all over the place, and they're kind of like a real skittish dog-like bear, and so you don't have to worry about them that much. I have a stone up here that I can use this on. No, yeah, there we go. Actually, chop down the trees. We need some more sticks anyways. Yeah, Viking shuffle. When we hustle, we do the shuffle, and then we muffle all our stuffle. And then we worship up the Nuffle. Okay, Nuffle. He's the god of RNG. If you've ever played Nuffle, if you've ever played Blood Bowl, he's the god of RNG, the god of the dice. I'm just going to get rid of that because I don't have room for it. He can't decide what he wants to do right now. Chop from this side, you big, bulky genius. There you go. That's what we're looking for. Chop that tree on down. Hopefully we get a decent amount of wood out of this one. I get wood from trees all the time. It's actually a dysfunction. It keeps me from going out to parks, public places, nationalized areas. I'm in general just not allowed to be a part of those festivities. They've taken it from me. The government has taken away that, just due to the fact that I seem to have a real amorous problem. Get some more cranberries. We might be able to make some. Oh, those are rose hips. I don't know how useful rose hips are. I may save those for later just for crafting purposes. It's a good idea to hold on to everything in this game. In all honesty, everything comes back around eventually and becomes used. We got 3 wool from that sheep? Oh, that's pretty good. I'll take that. We really need to find ourselves a squirrel, though. If we can't find a squirrel... I know where we can get a squirrel. We can get a squirrel if we go to the swamps. The problem is the zone-in point that they give us for the swamps is kind of dangerous. And so it makes me feel nervous about my survivability. We could also just hope that we luck out and get one in a dungeon, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, that might be hoping for too much. The loot table in this game is pretty large, and your chances of consistently getting the things that you want are low. Low to very low. I'm going to keep on shooting cockerels and taking their flesh because I need more food. Salt was the great limiting reagent right here. If you've never taken chemistry yet, mercy upon your soul. That was probably... Actually, my chemistry classes were really, really easy in college because I had a teacher who enjoyed what he did and, like, took a lot of time to make the class as accessible as possible because he knew people suffered with chemistry and that it was, like, one of those bar classes that people really struggled with. He taught all the OChem classes, too, and so actually chemistry and OChem weren't that bad. I feel very fortunate for that because I have other friends that took it at Davis and took them at places like, you know... Can I cook any of this right here? Okay, let's make some eggs, although it's kind of a waste. I mean, it's only going to give us the 80 HP. I'm trying to stock up on food right now and make sure that we have like a really, really solid dosage in here. Cook up all the bird meat because that's going to be almost a full health meter's worth. I think we've finally broken on through to the other side as far as the difficulty in our ability to offset some of the damage goes. It may also be a wise idea to set some of this up to finally be higher tier. But for right now, I'm just going to make some ropes. That's pretty much it. It only takes 1 wool per rope. And I think we needed like 4 ropes to get started with some of the stuff we're after. That's 4 chickens right there. Let's flip those birds like we're in the hood trying to make a little bit of cash. And then we'll pick those on up. I'm going to take this off to my storage chest real fast, too, and get that lined up. And then we'll think about the problem that's in front of us with regards to locking down some rabbit furs so that we can get some new armor. We can make the helmet, but the helmet, I mean, the helmet's good, but it doesn't help that much. I need, like, a full armor set. I would definitely recommend that maybe... Where did all of my loot go? Oh, no. I think we found a bug. Where did all my loot go? Oh, shit, dude. That's not good. I wonder if one of the crafted chests will do better. Let's go make some copper ingots, and we'll try one of the crafted chests and see, because all of our loot is gone from our chest right now. That's pretty bad. As far as things go, that's pretty terrible. That's fairly game-breaking, especially if you're one of the people that likes to store everything you bring along. I guess that kind of limits my options, so I'll probably just eat most of this stuff and leave it be. That definitely limits some of my options, though. A bit of a disappointment right there. It's okay, though. Early access. Early access. Early access. Sometimes I have to do the chant of early access to remind myself. Early access. But that's one they're going to want to get on pretty quickly. That might be something they want to patch in and fix sooner rather than later. In a hot fix or something. Let me go ahead and we'll take a look over here. And copper ingots should not be so terrible to create, I don't think. Wait, can we only do iron? What's the next tier? We need another board? Yeah, let's go make another board and see if maybe we can smelt up some copper real fast. I'll check on the forums after this play and see if there's anything in there that, like, we're supposed to be doing differently. But, or at least if there's a workaround, maybe. So we do need rope, we do need boards. So let's make ourselves a couple of boards here. Good, we got carpenter level 1. I'm actually going to use all this wood right now to make a few more boards. And I think that should be satisfactory as far as... Pick those up, that'll give us 10. That should be enough to get us to upgrade our forge and see if we can maybe get some copper smelted. And then on top of that, we may need to see... I mean, we can't use the iron anyways for any of our gear upgrades, so we might as well use it for making our house a little bit more badass. So it added some pipe works to the top. Let's see if that makes it so we can do some copper smelt. It does. So the copper tier... Oh, really? We can make iron battle helmets with the wool. That's not a bad plan. We lost all of our titanic ore and all of our gold and everything else because it was in our chest. It's a little bit of a downer. Don't really know what to say about that one. That's a tough one to cover up the losses from, because I'm willing to bet that maybe titanic ore and all that stuff is kind of rare, and so you might have to sit on it for a while. We got rabbit hides for all of this stuff too. Copper breastplate we could do, though. That requires us to have ropes and some other stuff. We could do some pauldrons, possibly. We haven't picked up the ingots yet. I was going to say... Where did our stuff go? We've got a sturdy sword right there, which represents a pretty considerable damage increase. We need a rotten egg, though, in order to make that work. I'm going to go with the pauldrons because they're craftable right now, and it's something that I can feasibly do to make my character a little bit more resilient. Since we're fighting nastier enemies, I may just have to piece things together. Might have to be a little bit. It's only 2% defense. I don't know if that's good or not. 2% defense doesn't feel like it's going to be super good to me, but gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. There we go. I guess we can't drag and drop. You gotta right click and put it in there. I like how it changes on your character, so we're a little bit more reinforced now. As far as those go, those still require some things that we don't have. I could do the breastplate, though. How do these compare to the iron stuff? 9% defense on the iron stuff, and so the iron is actually quite a bit better. So we could do a helmet, and we could do some new gloves. But I think we already have better gloves than those. The helmet would be 9%, which would be great. I may lean towards that right now. We got a little bit more health, too, so that'll help out in the long run as well. I am not sure what to do right now. I'm a little bit lost with regards to my strategy, simply based on the fact that if it's going to be deleting my items every time I play, that means I've got to hoard it all on my person. That means I need to work towards one objective at a time and not work on multiple things at a time, which is essentially what a chest allows you to do. So, let's make for the deeper mines here and see if there's anything we can accomplish. I think we did a pretty good job of eliminating a lot of the stuff that was in the opposite direction in these tunnels. And so now what we want to do is we just want to stay on these walls and see what we can unlock along the way. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's a major. It's not like a major hit to my morale. I still like the game. It's weird because my other save game has saved my items, and so it might just be like a sporadic issue or something like that. We got a couple of skeletal soldiers up top. More building stone off the floor right there. A little bit more iron. A little bit more copper. Always a good sign. That's a pretty sizable group of enemies right there. A little bit threatening. I may focus on upgrading our offense too, because as the Emperor puts it, tactics and strategy, or I guess defense is just the preparation for an attack, is what they say. Looks like we got another treasure hole down there to the left that we can dig to. And is this the final lair that I've played around with? Is this the last place that we've gone down to? Can I chop up this stone right here? Oh, we haven't gone all the way this way either. Okay, yep, let's make sure we get all this stone beat down. A little bit of gold ore right there. Mining seems like it would be just like a pain in the ass. It doesn't seem to me like a job that anybody would actually want. It seems like one of the few jobs I can think of that's worse than roofing. Like, when I think of shitty jobs, roofing's pretty bad. Being a welder on an oil rig is pretty bad, like an underwater welder. There's a lot of shitty jobs out there. Landscaping is pretty terrible, depending on where you live. Concrete can be pretty awful, depending on where you live. Tar mopping is pretty nasty. See, this is why, kids. Manual labor. Manual labor is a dead-end street a lot of the time. It usually pays pretty well, but you will be destroying your body. After your first experience tar mopping, let me know how much you enjoy your construction job. Tar mopping in the 110-degree heat. So if you don't know what tar mopping is, essentially on older flat top roofs, you got a tar mop because the water doesn't run right off of them, and so you got to send up these. Well, I'm not going to explain it. Anyway, you got to mop tar beforehand, which means you have to put in a thick-ass layer of boiling tar, and so you be in there with like rubber. This will be in the middle of the summer too. It will be you. Don't be like, I bet it'll happen to me in the winter. It won't happen to you in the winter. The first time you have to do this, it's always the summer. So anyways, there's a spider over there. A spidarian. To take me... Oh, shit. Alright, get the club out. Bring forth the club. Yeah, you can find me with the club. Hitting lots of spiders in their butt. Give them lots of love with my super awesome spiky club. They're actually doing a pretty good job against us right now. My inventory is, however, full. I can fix that, though, by eating some of the smaller stuff that I have laying around to clear out space. I'm sure these will turn into bigger, better meals later on, but I simply don't have the inventory space. Now that we're scrimping and saving all the random stuff that we have around, what does that do? Spider meat? Okay. Spider meat, gross and cold, but you need to eat. You have needs, they're called calories. I messed up, but don't blame me. Wake up. Here comes the Spider-Man. We're going to stick to this because that last fight didn't go too poorly. And we're making really, really positive gains with regards to our iron right now. And if I can lock down enough iron, we can just jump straight into an iron set, get ourselves a badass helmet or something. Something that'll make us a little bit more resilient. If I could get up to 20 or 30% damage resist, I think that would probably bring us up a notch with regards to our ability to tank some of the nastier mobs on the edge of the map and not have to pay for caravans to take us into places and spend a whole bunch of money just moving around the map, you know? Titanic ore right there. Very cool stuff. I'm going to see if there's a workaround for the saving problem, too, in between episodes. I'm sure the game's out at this point, and so I'm sure somebody's been up in there like, ah, my gear's all gone, my chest doesn't work, what happened? And so either the devs are desperately scrambling to get that finished off. We have so much clay right now. If we decide to be a potter down the road, we also have quite a bit of copper ore. That will help us long term. So there's the end right there. We can't go any further. What we can do... You can't dig upwards, I don't think. I think you can only dig downwards. Dig deep! It's the Viking Credo. The Viking Credo. And we got no other options right now. I'm going to try and refine what I can where I can since our storage options have become limited. And then I'm just going to vendor everything else, I guess. It might get expensive and it might cost us a little bit of time versus a little bit of, you know, a little bit of advancement, but I think I can make our inventory work. It's large enough to where if I temporarily store stuff in chests and then only... Let's go back up here. I know we got skeletons around, so this might get a little risky. I don't mind the fight, however, because I would very much like at the end of the day for my combatant skill to go up. Our warrior skill's at 3, and the higher we take that up, the stronger we get in the fighting arena. And so I'd like to just manage that and take care of business. That floor looks like it's got enemy issues as well. Namely, that issue is there's too goddamn many of them. Let's keep whacking away on this wall, and in fact, I may finish this on my own volition while you guys go peruse something else on my channel or somebody else's, like Enter Elysium's or maybe I don't know, Avic or Stejo's channel or maybe Shen's channel. I'll see you all later. Hi do everybody. My name is Splattercat. This game is called Niffelheim, where we hit our first bug. I'm going to go ahead and report it on the forums after this, and then I'm going to go ahead and see if there's a workaround. And I will see you all in future episodes. I'm not breaking it off for that bug. This game is dope. This game is ridiculously awesome, and so I will see you all later. Bye, everybody.